Hi, let's talk about tax compliance post 2026 tax season. Now, you should know that after this tax season, tax compliance won't be just about filing returns. It will be about maneuvering a system that already knows your numbers because KRA has set in motion a number of tax administration changes that are going to radically change tax compliance enforcement going forward. So let's look at a few, and more importantly, how they affect you, and hope this helps you stay ahead. First, the real-time income and expense tracking with eTIMS. Now, thanks to electronic tax invoice management system, now every transaction you make is captured in real time and reported directly to KRA. When you sell, KRA sees that sale immediately and registers it as your income. When you buy, it is registered as your expenditure. This is hardly to catch you lying, not as much as it is about creating a data-driven, self-verifying system that tracks your income, your economic activity, and ultimately builds a complete financial profile of your business. So going forward, forget about relying on Section 15 of the income tax, especially subsection 1. The system is now equipped to ascertain your taxable income all on its own and in advance. Your returns will just be an acknowledgement of what the system has already reported. So do not position yourself to play catch-up at the end of 2026 income year. If your compliance strategy is not built around diligent real-time capture and reporting of expenditure through eTIMS, come next tax season, be guaranteed you'll be taxed on numbers that you cannot defend. Secondly, let's talk about the real game changer, AI. That little know-it-all friend you consult when you want to come across smart. Well, that guy is entering the room to tell KRA all about your secret stashes that should not be reporting for taxation. A few weeks ago, KRA hinted at interest in procuring an intelligence analysis tool that will create a centralized intelligence repository to empower the investigation and enforcement department to access large volumes of data from multiple sources, process that, and use it to create a comprehensive taxpayer profile. See, KRA has long relied on taxpayer self-reporting. You, the taxpayer, self-report on the kind of business you're running, the amount in transactions reported out during an income year, the tax thresholds you meet, and subsequently, the tax obligation that applies. Now, the entire system relies on you to fruitfully self-assess and voluntarily self-report. And so, obviously, you'd not tell unless you want the taxman to know about it. And as long as you're self-assessed, self-reported, and volunteered numbers make sense to KRA based on the information they have about you, they let you be, mostly because in a sophisticated modern economic setup like ours, it's just too much ground to cover to prove you otherwise. So they let you be. Much of the information KRA would need to truly ascertain you're not lying has existed in silos, where manual processes and procedures are just incapable of reaching. But now, with an intelligence tool capable of sniffing across government agencies and third-party databases, the investigation and enforcement department will have all the information they need about you on a single dashboard. For example, if you're listed as a director or a shareholder or a beneficial owner of other businesses, that information is primarily stored by the Business Registration Service. And likely, your current taxpayer profile on iTax does not include that relationship to these other businesses. And an intelligence tool capable of tracking that relationship might flag it as a potentially undeclared source of income. Also, visibility into intergovernment agencies' shared records, such as eco-registration, land titles, and utility bins, that could be flagged for potential undeclared property ownership or property sale. And your social media and digital footprint, showing luxury lifestyle indicators, call your tax return says otherwise, that's a red flag. This tool will eliminate the information silos and also create a 360 degrees view of your taxable activities. Another enforcement tool you should know about is body-worn cameras. KRA recently rolled out body-worn cameras for customs and border officers. KRA says it's for curbing bribery and collisions that have historically enabled tax evasion. And now, every luggage at the airport and every cargo container passing through customs and border, all that is now on KRA's live feed. Human discretion in tax enforcement at the border, that's a loophole that is now shut down. And the compliance is now non-negotiable. Lastly, the VAT threshold might be changing soon. KRA is seeking to repeal Section 34, 1A of the VAT Act to change the VAT registration threshold from the current 5 million to 0. The implication is that all businesses, irrespective of size, will be required to register for VAT. Among other things, it will mean a new compliance burden on small traders especially, because it is a new reporting obligation for them. While the taxman says it's to grow the tax pool, the overarching objective is transaction traceability enhancement. So going forward, every transaction will be 100% visible across the value chain. In all this, let me be clear, this video is not on tax cheats. Tax evasion is illegal, so that's not the conversation here. Nonetheless, tax cheats beware. With these changes, you'll certainly get caught. My message is to compliant taxpayers, and it is simple. Because of what is changing, mistakes and discrepancies and inconsistencies that previously went unnoticed, or that you could easily explain yourself out of, that will now likely not only trigger scrutiny, but also lead to clear-cut cases and potential trouble with the taxman. The margin for error is shrinking and fast. Compliance will not just be about filing this or that tax return. It will be about staying ahead of a system that already has visibility into your financial reality. If there's anything to take from this video, shift now to proactive compliance. And just to begin with, thoroughly reassess your compliance structure to make sure you are registered for all applicable taxes. Track every transaction and maintain verifiable records, and consistently monitor your eTIMS data. Do not assume that an eTIMS invoice means your data has been submitted. Please confirm it. In short, wrap up your compliance strategy. Thank you for watching. Stay ahead.